Okay, so we're the Real Treasure Hunters here. We have Todd and Aaron and Lauren with us, and we also have a special guest by the name of Tom.
Woo, let's hear it for Tom.
Woo! So Tom has some information about the property that he's residing on, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his exploration on the property and what he's found on the property, what he thinks it might be, and I think we're pretty excited about this, man, to find out what's really there. So Tom, if you want to just tell us how you got a hold of this property and how big the property is, and how you came across finding some of this stuff, or what led you into looking for it.
Well, I like to collect Indian stones. They're just, everybody gets arrowheads all the time, and I like the story rocks. And it started out with this one.
And what exactly is that?
This is the first rock I ever found. I found it in my flower bed on my house at Fairfax. Now, can you see the woman playing the flute?
I can.
There's a woman right there.
That's it.
You turn it. There's the skull. Turn it again. And it's a man one way and it's a woman the other way, wearing a headdress. Kind of scary looking, like a witch doctor woman.
So you found this in the flower bed, and then what kind of got you into looking further into this?
See, with the story rock, there's so many different images everywhere. Now, this is what Missouri used to look like, with a square, with the ocean bay all the way around it. Now, you can see there's a little triangle right there. That's where I live, in Lebanon, Missouri.
So what do you basically? So that's like a map?
Yeah, it is a map of the entire state of Missouri, what it was before. You see the little triangle? I thought it was an arrow until I talked to my great grandma, Leoma. She's a full-blooded Indian from New Mexico. And she's a Chatfield. She said it was a temple. And I needed to follow the marking stones to find it, which I did.
Pull it back just a little bit so I can focus in. And what is your mom again? What type of tribe or grandmother?
She was a mosh posh of different tribes, because there were so many. She was 109 when she died. There were so many different tribes down there on the reservation, and they were segregating themselves, but Sioux, Cherokee, and she had some Apache in her. I mean, she was a mosh posh of different tribes of Indian. And she told me it was a story rock. And it wasn't just a story rock, it was a map. And eventually I would figure it out. Do you see the little symbols all around it?
It's kind of a little bit on the blurry side.
Now, this temple right here, you see the little pyramid at the bottom?
Point that way with your finger so I know what you're talking about.
Right here at the bottom. See, I hold it just right. You can see a little, see, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a step pyramid. It's stepped up. That was the first one I found. And see, it's got a face of the man right here at the top. They always added something with the picture. Now, all these little tiny markings are temples all over Missouri. You need a magnifying glass to see them all. I counted it 3 to 4 times over. There are hundreds just in one area.
Now, have you matched that up with your property?
Now on the property, I was following some carved stones that had Blackbeard, Edward Teach. Well, Edward Thatcher is his name. They called him Edward Teach because he used to be a teacher. And I found a big giant marker stone. It's 2 foot 5 inches. I think it's 2 foot 5 inches wide, about 12 inches thick, and over 4 foot long. It's about an 800-pound stone. Well, when I flipped it over, I didn't really notice anything. The next day, overnight, it rained. It washed the stone off, and it showed a complete entire map of an underground cavern, complete with pyramids and tunnels going to other pyramids, all these little temples that got buried at one time, but they dug them all out. And then it showed me that the other hill where we have a sinkhole, that there was an entrance into a massive cavern. Well, I went back there, and right there where it showed me, was a big map rock. Big, looks like a head, a funky looking little head. And I cleaned it all off, and you can see pyramids on it, how to get into it, where the entrance was. And as you look down at the very bottom is the little arrow, and you follow each stone all the way to the entrance. There's a tunnel there. We called it a sinkhole. We put
Who,
my grandpa called it a sinkhole. And
who
we just put
buried who buried the temples and dug them back up?
a meteor shower. Between 4,000 to 6,000 years ago, a band of meteors washed across the United States from west to east, right across the Arkansas and Missouri border. And it changed the face of the United States ever since. It brought Florida up. It basically washed a 30-foot wave of soil over everything. There's a crater in Missouri, in Lebanon, right next to the Red Fox. I would say a half a city block away from it. It's a big lily pond, but it's actually a crater, because outwards, if you look from above view, it's a shock wave that goes out towards the Sea Highway, away from the Fox, towards the other pyramids. And the other ones are out there on P Highway, or PP, off of C. And there's more than 14 there. One is not buried hardly at all. There's trees growing on it because of its age. Now, there's stones on there as big as probably big as a small Toyota car, 4-door. It's long and it's tall, but they're all tongue and groove. And there's one wall of it is pretty much washed away from the creek, the little river that's right there. And you can see stack after stack after stack. Looks like a EKG model. And they're all stacked stones, every bit of it. It's almost a 3 pyramid.
Hey, Tom, you had mentioned that in the basement that there was some writing, and there's also a tunnel, and you said a big stone down there as well.
Out there, the thing about, I was lucky on this one, the farm and the Red Fox, the property in town, the Indians, that's where they lived. That's where their villages were. The Pony Express used to have a trail that ran through our property, and the Indians, they let them be. And as long as they didn't bother them, and you didn't bother, vice versa. But
Okay.
anywhere the Indians were, it seemed Blackbird was there. Now I found a anchor, and most people think, oh, you found a cast iron anchor. Most anchors were stone, because who wants to lose a big cast iron anchor in a coral reef? They always got hung up. They always have to cut those free. So they drill a hole in a big giant stone, and it'd have a point at the bottom of it, be oblong and kind of rectangular, and they tie a rope around it, and that would be their anchor. Now that anchor, it still sits out there, and there's another stone that you would add to it. It becomes a eagle's head, I think is what it looks like, but it points out to places where they Blackbeard buried stuff. I thought at first it was Templar, because some of the markings were similar, but Blackbeard could have been a Mason. He could have been, but we don't know. Now, right there where the fox is, used to be a lake. Most of Lebanon used to be underwater. The river ran right through there, right through Lebanon, into the lake, and back into the river. And the boats used to dock right there by Tracker, right there by the fox. There's a big dip right there, a big embankment. It's real sandy. And there are marker stones and tie-off stones where ships used to tie off. And you could walk through there and walk down that hill. You could see stone after stone after stone with Blackbeard's marking, his pirate flag, you'd say. And it's a little lightning bolt with a skull, and it has B&B for Blackbeard. And
Now, I want to bring this up to you. Give me 1 second. Let me pop it up. Now this right here.
now I found that at the first pyramid I ever found. It's the step pyramid. A friend of mine, Chuck Hatman, he died of cancer. It was in his front yard. There used to be a stone circle there. And the old farmers, they all, his grandfather or whatever, they pulled all the rock off and dumped it back there and tried to make a big pond at the bottom of the hill. Well, right there next to the pond that he tried to make are giant snake heads. You could not put one of those in a back of a pickup. It'd be bigger than a pickup's entire cab. And I'm talking about a diesel pickup, not a regular gas pickup.
Okay, and now I've noticed even the back side of it. Todd, what did you think this was at one time?
What's that? That right there?
Yeah, it's the back side of it.
The other side is a helmet with a W, but it looks like a backwards 3. It's for Wyoda, the Wyoda Nation. Now, I done research on it, and the Wyoda Nation covered almost every Indian tribe in the United States. It was actually their civilization. Yeah. If you look at that coin, it has reef all the way around it, and it has 2 openings. One on one far end, one at the other far end. And Plato described Atlantis as central rings around a center mound. And to get into the city, you had to cross through a wall and go all the way around, go through the other wall, the opening, and go all the way back before you could dock. Now, some of the research I'd done had the same symbols from some of the markings and writings that he left that still survive today. And the royal crest on the backside of the helmet with the 3 or the W, either way you would look at it, matches some of the drawings that he's drew.
Gotcha.
The only reason Atlantis was called Atlantis is because he crossed the Atlantic Ocean to get there.
Now, are you saying, are you tying this to your property?
Yeah, on my property, well, it's not completely all mine. I have my mom, my dad, and my uncles, and my cousin. But right there where we live on top of a pyramid. It's right there beneath the house, and one right next to it. Everybody calls them mounds. They're not mounds. They're just waves of gravel and dirt and stones from at least 150,000 years ago.
Do you see one? Do you want me to stop at? Let me know. I'm sure. Can you see these pictures as I'm going through them?
Oh, I could. You're still at the coin from me on here.
Yeah, it's still the coin, Mike.
All right, give me a second.
Oh.
All right.
This is what I would like people to see.
What is it? Hold on. Let me see what you got. Yeah, what is that?
Well, I thought at first it was brass. We did a scratch test on it, and not all of it got, the acid didn't eat it all. So there's a monetary amount of gold in there, but the color is wrong for it to be brass or copper. I think it's uranium.
I see
Uh,
a face.
Uranium has the same color as gold and has the same color as brass. It has a reddish tint and is very heavy. It weighs over 8 pounds. Now, I dug this up under this tree that it would take more than 5 of me to wrap our arms around it. And I'm 6'5". I got a long arm span. It would take 5 or 6 of me to hug this tree. It was
Was it
about 10
exactly
foot.
like that?
This was 10 foot deep underground.
Was it exactly like that when you pulled it out of the dirt?
Nope, it was covered in black, waxy sap looking stuff, like a big giant ball. And on one corner,
Did you cut it?
On one side of it, you could see that corner edge of the metal. So I basically scraped it all off and cleaned it with some vinegar, and I didn't want to damage it or anything, so I was real careful with it. And at first I thought I had a brick of gold, which there's some gold in it. And if you look on the backside, it started as granules, little tiny pieces. It was just like little particles. Now I was trying to pull up on my laptop here some pictures, and because I wanted to show you a picture on here, right here. Now, I don't know if he can really zoom up on this, but you see those 2 straight parts that stick out right here?
Yeah.
Those are arms. Now, See, let me get it real close here. Let me see if I can pull it up on my laptop here.
And what are you saying that is?
There's a picture of an alien talking to a bunch of Indian wearing, they would put basket like clothes on, almost like they were in a spacesuit themselves. And I don't know if you could zoom up, if you could pull up the picture and zoom up on there, you can see one of the medicine men holding one of those little, it looks like a pillow or like a little sarcophagus that they shake.
Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up for you.
Was that it? Or the video? Let me see the video.
Can you guys see this?
No,
I can see that. I can see the big, all the different pictures, but
no, you.
They're
have
all
to-
small.
You're not doing it right. You gotta do this. You can't share like this. You have to share one at a time. It doesn't let you do the
Okay.
whole thing.
Let's see.
Oh, I should.
is that a doorbell?
I might be able to pull it up here.
Listen.
Okay. Music, downloads, pictures. There we go. Now, let's see, let's go down.
Do the. It's not. Back to Zoom.
Down.
To screen share.
Just go share, just share screen.
Share
Okay, here we go.
Hold on, let me see what he's got. Is he got
Okay.
two? Where is it?
Well, you wouldn't let me do it. So.
Oh,
Where is it?
let's see.
I don't think it's.
Yeah. Let's rotate this picture.
Because it needs to be just a, here we go, thumbnail, hold on. So,
Rotate. Rotate. All right. Let's see.
here's a thumbnail, you pull thumbnails.
Can you see this?
Those. And the back to Zoom, you should be able to share that.
What do you have, Tom? What is that?
Now watch. Watch as I zoom up on this here. See all this here? These are people. Now,
Tilt the screen up a little bit.
okay, here we go. That's his hands. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, let's see. Just where's the zoom? Oh, there we go. Now. Now, lighting. Oh. Oh. All right. Do you see the hands?
Two hands, yeah.
Yeah. Right here is his head. Now, let's zoom up a little more here. And, oh, stop. Well, it won't let me zoom up anymore. Oh, that's too much. Out, out, out.
Looks like somebody's sitting down. Is that what you're showing us?
Maybe, let's see. Can I switch the camera here? To my other camera.
Yeah, it should be up towards the top left. And it should look, Oh,
Hey, Tom, I can share the picture. Hold on a second.
Share.
Hey, Tom, how's that?
Yeah, now turn it upside down. You got it upside down right now. That's what I was trying to.
Like that?
Yep, now that's the right direction. Now zoom up over here. You can see him. He's got his hands out to all these people.
It's on right here. And these are the, we saying these are the people?
Yep, they're wearing the Native Americans. They would dress up in these big
Actually, you
giant
can
suits
see.
like they
Yeah, I
were
can see
birds.
kind of a head.
You can actually see a head with like the headdress and
Yeah,
stuff at
there's
the
one
top.
person here, one
Mhm.
person here, maybe a
Yeah,
couple.
they're
maybe
all
one here.
wearing all the way around. The more you zoom up, the more you see.
Yeah, it won't let me to zoom.
Yeah, it doesn't let us zoom.
How do I? Okay, there we go.
Yeah. If you
But it's upside down now.
will save it the right way. Did you save a copy? Or
Well,
no?
we get the
Anyways,
point anyhow. So now the temples that are there, are they buried or are they above the ground?
Not all of them. I found about 14 of them that's not buried. Now,
Now the
right,
pyramid, and you said the
The
pyramid
border.
is underground, right?
28 of them. I've located 28 at least. Now, most of them are underground. They could be a few feet. They could be 30 feet. 14 of them, the structure is sticking out of the ground. You can see the stone structure of it sticking out of the ground. It over time, the dirt's washed away.
how
Like the step.
much of the stone structure can you actually see from the ground?
The step pyramid, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4,
The
four of the main
tallest.
steps. 4 of the main steps. Now, the one it's about 2 miles from there off the river on PP. It's a 3-sided pyramid and it's not covered at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you pull up that location, just the height of that hill and the shape of it suggests this pyramid. There is a giant head. I'm 6'5", like I said. There's a head that is as tall as me. And it's a head of an old man wearing a headdress. And as you go around it, there's a Mayan smiley face with big ears, like big pointy ears, kind of like a vampire face or something, but it's got a big smile, it's got big teardrop eyes and a big pointy ears, and it's separated. And right off from there is a crack in the stone with a head of a human or a mohawk peeking through it, like there was like a man or a woman was peeking out their teepee, because it's the crack's a V-shape.
Now, can I ask you a question, not to be off subject, but have you had any type of UFOs or any kind of alien activity on that property? Have you seen anything that ID abnormal?
I mean, I saw some UFOs or something like a UFO down when I was down in Corpus Christi, but that's Texas. I mean, down in Texas, we couldn't explain what it was. It stopped and moved and then stopped again and then shot off into the space like it was.
But you haven't
nothing.
seen anything on your property, right?
Not really, no. Now I found carvings in stone, heads. I got a head that's oblong shaped that fits in the palm of my hand, and it's not human. It's obviously not human.
Have you,
Have a nose, you know, where a human nose would be, it's flat. And it's just,
did we all freeze? Tom, I think we
I
I
lost.
didn't.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, Tom, I think we lost you. Hey,
Tad froze
Tom, you
too.
still there?
Tad tried to freeze, but he just moved.
So what do you guys think so far? Well, he's
Well,
kind of tight.
maybe-
Hold on, let me see if
Wait,
he's. I'm
before
gonna tell him.
you
I
say
could-
anything.
I could see the lady on that stone.
Yes, and I could see the lady on the gold one too. You can actually
I
see her.
can't-
It reminds
can't
me
see
of
her
the
yet.
carvings out in like that you see out in Arizona with the cedar.
Like
tribes.
Lakota and stuff like all the
Mhm.
Lakota stuff.
Yes,
So,
very similar.
you know, I've been saying, I've been right the whole time about this thing.
Okay. All right. So you ready? Just, I mean, I don't know if you guys still want to go to Missouri or not, but but the whole time I've done nothing but sitting here researching, listening to him fucking talk. So let me tell you when Missouri was underwater. Okay. 365 million years ago. Okay. It was no longer underwater 351 million years ago. I'm not sure if you know too much about pirates, but Blackbeard
No.
didn't sail to Missouri because it's nowhere near the fucking water. Okay.
No, it's
So,
definitely not that.
so that whole thing of it being underwater, sure, 365 million years ago it was. Okay.
Could have been during the time of Atlantis.
Okay.
No, it is
No.
not Atlantis. We are not even touching that one.
I'm
okay?
just saying.
Atlantis isn't even 300 million years old.
Not
So just so you know.
Where'd you get this information from, Todd?
Plato.
The other thing is the pyramids that are there, there are pyramids there and they're well documented on every historical site known to man. And a guy just wrote a new book about it. The pyramids stretch from St. Louis all the way east to the Cuyahoga Mound historic site.
Right, isn't that the one that you put on
And-
the thing? Yeah.
They were built in 600 AD. They were, the people that lived there disappeared in 1400 AD,
Because they got taken by the aliens.
probably.
Was there any treasure?
Doesn't say that. It just
It
talks
doesn't
about
say
that
They're not gonna say that anyways.
That- the pyramids are well documented. There's all kinds of books written about it. Apparently,
Well, okay, but they maybe these could have been something that were obviously underground. I mean, I'm just saying this can still be a discovery.
Well, to be fair, I mean, this is their property, so it's not like this
Well,
is like
the-
park
so
property.
the pyramids, I'm not doubting that they existed because it says specifically that they stretched from
Right.
St. Louis. They actually said that if you're on the Mississippi River in St. Louis, some of the most like the ones that are in the best condition, you can still see.
Mhm.
So like just outside of St. Louis, they said the thing I just read says you can see it along the Mississippi River at a certain part. But supposedly it was a pretty vast city. And they're saying that it went from St. Louis all the way to the Cuyahoga, whatever historical site. So
Okay, so I still have a big interest in this.
American
okay, yeah. I'm just saying. I just okay, like I don't know. Okay,
You-
I think there's pyramids. Okay. So is there probably some on his property? Yes. Because of what I just read. So now we know they were built, they are pyramids. Okay. This one guy has pictures of them and in a book he wrote. And so I believe they're there. So would it still be cool to go there and see him in person? Oh, fuck yeah, it would be. You know, especially
Gonna
if there
have to
was
be.
an actual way to get inside.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
You won't
he's-
be breaking the law.
Yeah, he says that he started digging down. He actually found the doorway to one.
So the pyramids are legit. I mean, they exist.
And
So
the tunnels, obviously, the tunnels are legit because tunnels are. I mean, it's
Yeah,
everywhere.
I mean,
Tunnels
it
spread
could
out
be
throughout
part of
Missouri.
those people because the one thing I read was like a little excerpt from the book that the pyramids, just like all the other indigenous people, they were amazed by how big they made some of them. Supposedly by St. Louis, they were like these massive ones.
Mhm.
And they were saying that how impressive it was with, out modern machinery that they were able to build those type of things.
So can I give you my conclusion?
Yeah.
So what I think is this. So we can say that the temples, we still don't know why the temples are there, or who put them there, or who they're from,
What is considered a temple?
or whatever is considered a temple. We don't know by structure, by what Aaron
Right.
says. Until we see the structure, we won't be able to determine who placed that temple there. The tunnels, obviously, that could have been natural tunnels. That could have been that could have created caverns or whatever, earthquake or crater or whatever fucking crashed there. I don't know who put those tunnels there, but it'd be maybe during the Civil War. We do know that that town Lebanon used to be called Wyoda, which was based on an Indian tribe that lived there, from what he's also told us. So maybe the stones that he's finding can be related to the Indians.
Of course.
But now we come back to the pyramids. I don't think the Indians had the capability as savages to be able to build something.
Whoa,
It
whoa, whoa,
says-
Not
it
use
says
the
that-
S word.
whoa.
right.
First of all, you can't call them savages. All
Do
right.
not use
They were
the S
only deemed savages because we were stealing their property and they were fighting back.
Right. I understand that. I'm just saying back in the day, they didn't have the intellect
The
or the.
indigenous people. How about that?
The indigenous
All right,
people,
indigenous
stop
people,
talking.
whatever,
Just
okay.
stop.
All right, so anyhow, we don't know who put those pyramids there. So that's the other thing too, and I think that if we go there and we actually get into one of these, I'd like to see if there's any artifacts. I mean, we should be able to find something, some kind of remnants of something that shows us who put it there.
Well, I would definitely go with indigenous people and the older Indian tribes
Okay,
because
so,
they were out there during. Well, never mind. I'm not even gonna go into it with you. Never mind.
Why?
Nothing. It's fine.
so let's take a trip.
I say we go
I
out
think we
there.
should still go.
Okay, then let's, August 26th through the 30th, we're gonna be there. Bring your shovel, Todd, and your wallet.
Yeah.
Aaron, you're gonna be
It
in
broke
charge of poisonous gases meter. You're gonna have a magnetometer and also a radiation meter.
We got a magnetometer.
Yes,
Also,
and I'm gonna try and bring my
Uh,
GPR so we can scan the ground and see how deep these things are.
you should be able to. Also,
Hmm.
I'm thinking that we should be well armed. We're still in the United States. If he's being followed, I mean, I need to drop some bodies.
Yeah.
We all know we can't depend on Mike's fighting skills, so we're gonna have to.
Especially if Jeff Santella shows up.
These guys are
Dude,
fucking funny.
If the government hires him, we're fucked.
All right.
dude.
I'm ending this meeting, so.
Can we get Stacy to come?
No,
protect
so
herself?
listen, set
She
it
has to
up
watch. She has to stay home and take care of her baby.
August 26th to the 30th. We're heading to Missouri,
All
Yeah.
right, let's
All
do it.
right.
I'm down.
and hopefully we'll make some big discovery there.
I'm hoping so.
You're kidding, right?
What do you mean?
Mike is never kidding.
What are
We're
we?
gonna
What
make-
are we going to discover?
Listen, we're gonna
We just
discover
solved
what's
the
already been
pyramid
discovered.
thing. Blackbeard was never there. Missouri wasn't underwater. Well, it was, but 365 million years ago.
Yeah, but
Wait forever.
we're gonna be putting our hands on exactly what he's talking about. Our
Yeah.
eyes, hands, everything, and our thought process on it. So if anything, we can either debunk, disprove, or prove whatever we want to do. It doesn't matter. But we'll
Just-
still have eyes on it.
I just don't know how long I can listen to story stones and stuff. Because let me tell you something, dude. If the only thing he had going for him, because if it would have been in person and he would have broke that out, I would have just lost it. I mean,
Here's-
I would have
Hold on
lost
one
it.
second. Hold on one second. All right. If you want to look up something, look up the Mawaga Indians. Up where I'm from, it's all it's all Indian territory, obviously. Indian territory. but the Milwaukee Indians actually used to have story stones similar to that. There is.
Oh, I'm sure. I've heard of it.
There's a whole place in Agawam that has a little museum with arrowheads and all these, and a lot of copper etching. So, or like carved stones, carved copper, carved wood.
Okay.
So the story stones are real. I mean, I did see the
Not
lady on that
his.
one stone, but veins of stone can be, I don't know. It's hard.
It's no different than you see a cloud and you say, that cloud right there looks like a duck. Is that really a fucking
All
duck
right.
in the cloud? No.
Is
It
that,
could be.
all right, guys, I just need your last thing. Review.
Oh, now
What do
you're
you have to
hurrying it
say?
up. Now that I haven't eaten dinner and I'm divorced, now all of a sudden you want to hurry the meeting along.
So what's your thing on this?
Well, number one, I think it'd be cool that we know the pyramids exist. I think it'd be cool to go see them, especially if he has them on his property where they're easily accessible. I think that'd be cool as shit just to get some footage of check out this fucking pyramid, just of the fact of no different than when we go out in the woods and we find like an old city, like when we found fucking that,
Boomtown.
that town that Jesse took us to. I can't remember the name of it now.
Boomtown.
The one, yes.
Yeah,
And-
Boomtown.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
but just like that, going there and seeing old shit like that, dude, people like that shit,
All
I mean,
right.
how many people do you think, let's say even that aren't from Missouri, have read this guy's book? You know what I mean? That know that there used to be pyramids and shit. You know what I mean? They don't know that.
Mhm.
Dude,
All right,
I
well, let's
spent
wrap
hours
this
upon
up.
hours upon hours watching Discovery Channel and History Channel. I've never heard of that in my life.
Aaron, do you have anything else?
I'm intrigued only because being from Massachusetts, they pump history and stuff like that down your throat in the schools. In Florida, they don't really teach it that much. It's not a high taught thing here. So I love history without a doubt, and I love knowing stuff. The thing for me is being able to prove or disprove the temples or the worship areas. And I mean, obviously we know there's pyramids there because we just figured that
Yeah.
out. But
Yeah.
But if this guy's got pyramids on his property,
That's
who knows
badass.
about it? Who knows about it?
All right.
Yep.
Lauren, what about you? Anything?
No, I got nothing.
All right, so the trip's set. Me, you, and Todd, we're gonna be in Missouri, August 26th through the 30th. We're gonna either
And
debunk
maybe
it
Jesse.
or help Tom make a
Maybe
discovery
Jesse.
on this.
What?
Maybe Jesse.
Maybe Jesse? Oh, that'd be
Jesse
cool, man, if
Bryant.
he actually comes, man.
Jesse is trying to clear his Costa Rica schedule. He can clear his, but his buddy, he's trying to get his buddy to make sure his buddy can change his.
All right. So guys, for everybody out there listening and watching, this is pretty real. So stay tuned for our
Stay tuned.
episode that's gonna come out around after August, after we actually step foot on this property and see what's there. All right?
Stay tuned.
Yep,
And we'll
stay
let-
tuned.
We'll let Todd eat something, some leftovers that his wife brings him.
Yeah. Let me pack my bag so I can go find a place to stay.
You can sleep on our couch.
I got
Hey,
a couch, Todd. You can come
Mike.
to my place.
Don't put that stuff in there about debunking him.
Still recording.
Hey, well, he's coming on right now. He's back on. Hey, Tom, I want to ask him one quick question before we get off.
Hold on a second. His audio isn't connected yet. There we go.
Hey,
I
Tom,
got cut off somehow. It just cut me off.
Hey, real quick. I want to ask you, you said you have people following you. Why do you think there's people following
I don't know. There were some local detectives. I have no idea. They were following me. I know who they are. This is a small town. We know everybody. I'm related to 2/3 population of Lebanon.
you? You don't think it has anything to do with that property, do you?
They've been trying to buy that property from my grandpa or force him to close that property for as long as he's had it. There's a church next door, and it used to be a pawn shop, liquor store, and a motel at once. I mean, yeah. He went all out, I guess. And he was the only person in town for 25 years that could sell Sunday beer. and be next to a church. You know, I mean,
Is-
he helped a lot of people in his lifetime, people starting their new lives, coming here from Lebanon. I mean, he gave them free rent or gave them a job. You know, he helped a lot of people. And some people took advantage of him, and some people are doing really well. But they didn't care. They just want the property. There's 10 acres here at the Red Fox, and 7.3 of them's never been zoned, never been built on. It's just a flat field. And the other part in the front, the 2.5 acres, is the office and the motel. And it's old. The motel is probably, I want to say 115 years old, 110, or something like
Hey.
that. The houses are, the one house is at least that old.
And Tom, when we come up there, is there anything we need to worry about? Bears, rattlesnakes?
Now, if we're in the middle of we'll be in the middle of town. There's no snakes. Well, back there by the sinkhole, there could be some copperheads or something like that, but I've been back there stomping around, cutting out brush. There shouldn't be no problem.
Now, is
But
there any other,
have the tunnel back open because I filled it in. I didn't want kids to get into it.
now, is there anything else that you want to tell us that might be of importance or can help us figure out what's going on there?
Can you pull up the picture of the underground city?
The underground city?
Yeah, it's the one that it's just a big stone with the leaves around it. It's one of the last ones. Yeah, I could show you on here. See, go back. Down.
Here, you know what, Tom? I'm going to show you the screen. You tell me which one it is and I'll pull it up. Hold on.
I got it right here. All right. Can you see this?
Hold on.
Let's darken it a little bit.
And what is that?
Now, let me turn it again. See, it looks like a head. It's 2 eyes. There's the ear. It's wearing some funny hat. It's a big face shield. It's not exactly looking human, though. Now we'll click it back. Now, oh, too far. Now, I'm going to magnify. Oh, come on. I was wanting to save stuff. I'm not even ready to save anything. What is it doing here? And see, that's the thing about like my phone shutting off, and then things don't want to work right.
You talking about this piece?
Okay, top row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, number 8.
Number 8?
All right, now you gotta open, now you have to share that. So stop sharing there. And then share. There you go.
Okay, this one right here.
Yep. Now, the right side is the top. And then you could
Like that?
turn it again. You got it upside down now. Okay, now that's the right way. Now you can see the little pyramid on the left. Yeah, right there. Zoom up on that.
Won't let me zoom up any closer. That's as far as it lets me go. There you go. How's that?
It's getting better. There's a guy standing in the doorway right there, holding a little square box.
This?
Yep.
And what do you say that square box is?
This.
So what are you saying? It might be a key to something or?
Well, right there by the right there where he's holding it out, the edge of the doorway is a hole that's square.
Right here?
Yeah, right there. There's a square slot. All right. Brighten it up. Can you see on mine?
Well, let me shut mine down. Say something so it'll flash over to you.
Can you see here on
Yeah,
mine?
pull it up close to the screen and we can probably see it. And what are you actually showing us?
No, look, right here, there's a man holding the little square box, and right there next to it is a hole for such box. And you know, there's a profile of it kind of looks like a Greek god right there, you know, and it's obvious it's a triangle shaped.
So you
These
say this
are
box is
squares.
actually made for something?
I guess. I mean, I don't know what it could be exactly, but
Have you
see,
taken it to that location?
there's the line goes here, and the line goes here, and there. All right.
And what is this you're showing us?
I was trying to mark out the pyramid that's in there. All right. Now let's see. It's that, and let's see. Let's exit this. Cancel.
So is that supposed to be another map?
This the whole, that is the map. Right here is the river. It's like a little flat river that runs through underground right there. Up here is an upper part. That's where you go in. That's the top of the ground. But there's a bridge right here. That you can go across, and then you got to go down right here. See, I got to get back out of this part. Okay. Go too far. Now, you can see right here, it goes straight across here. And then straight down this side, there's a triangle shape right here. And then this side here is a triangle. You can see 1, 2, 3 sides of this pyramid on here.
And where it says it is it's actually the same place on your property.
Yeah. Now see, right here, there's another building, complete with tower and a flag. See? What in the world? See, complete with, it's a tower and a flag. See the skull here? The weird thing on this one, it almost looks like some of the pirate drawings and carvings that's on some of those stones. But and then right, like I was saying over here, when we come down, there's a passageway right here that brings you to the river. And then, yeah, right here is a bridge, supposedly. And it brings you down through here, and you gotta go through all this little, all these are like little homes or something. You can actually see like little faces inside each hole, which is kind of creepy. And when you get through this part here, you come out of the mouth and it takes you down right through here, right up to the doorway.
The doorway up to the pyramid.
Yep.
Huh.
See, there's certain places on here that are path and certain places that are not. See right here? See these lines? That looks like flowing, like something's flowing. That's the water. The water from the surface, from the rain, everything, it flows down. And you have to follow that water down. And see, right here is where it comes down, and right there's the bridge. The river runs right through here.
Now,
This is the bridge right here.
hey, Tom, and once we get to the pyramid, I mean, how deep underground is the doorway?
See, this is all, a lot of this is, a lot right here is an open cavern. So, and I went a quarter of a mile. I got to about right. See, I got about right here.
Is it not in there?
You talking about underground through the tunnel?
Above the
Yeah,
toilet.
when I went in, I got down to here, about where, yeah, right here. See right here? Right there, it's got some like, got TC on there, TWC, but it looks like an E because the W is turned on its side.
Pick one first.
It's, I don't know, there's a lot of symbolization. It's a big wall that had a bunch of writing on it. And I went just a little ways past that and I could hear the water rushing. And I didn't have very good light. And I was by myself. It's not like you're crawling around in a regular cave. Most places I was walking like a leisure walk.
How about, you talking about like something, you sent me some pictures here. Is it talking about like this? Or is it actually bigger than that?
Okay, now this is my friend Sam. He lives on the corner before you get to the rock house. Now, he lives on top of a pyramid completely. They dug down in for the basement. Now, you think of a pyramid is going to be made of all the hard stone. No, not these. The hard stones on the outside edge, the soft, like chalk-like stones on the inside. And it's like a big giant, jigsaw puzzle. They put a bunch of pieces, they carved thousands of these snake heads from one little size all the way to a big size. And they put this puzzle from bigger rocks to smaller to smaller to smaller. And it builds a pyramid. and they fill in each crack with what's left over. So when it washes away, as you can see, when you zoom up onto that picture, there's carvings in the white stone.
Okay, what about this? Hey, what about this thing, Tom, that you've been kind of?
That is what's on the corner of the block. That's what's on the corner of this. I can show you. It's right here. You see that?
You said it's right on the corner of it?
Yeah. The writing on there covers the entire surface of front, back, and sides, but they made it more apparent here and here and right down here, right here at the bottom part of it. You know,
Huh, kind of neat.
I was trying to turn the camera around where you could see. There we go. Now, here we go. Now we can look at that picture again. This is the head.
I see it.
Yeah. And then look at around his collar. He has a suit on, like a spacesuit. And then part of it is about the story of it's like a story rock. That's what it amazed me. It's just like a story rock. See the planet up here? This is what happened. A little tiny planet smashed into a bigger planet. When you zoom up on this, which I wish I could do on here, I have not figured out how. Oh, here we go. Zoom. Oh, nope. It won't zoom up. But when you zoom up on this image, it turns into a city. It looks more like a big city. It's got buildings and temples everywhere, and it will not do it. Not with this. But that's one image. Then here's the really good image here. Now, let's see. See if it'll work. Too much light on here.
Todd,
There we go.
Yes, Mike.
what do you think?
Oh, now on that image, see this corner right here? Go back
Pull
to
it back, pull it back away from the camera because it's blurring up too close.
yeah.
Where do you want us to look?
I'll pull that image back up to show them. It's just like Egyptian hieroglyphics right here on the corner of it. On the same part. Okay.
Yeah, it's too blurry up close.
Yeah, this camera don't work very good.
We'll have to look at it in person.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
I can pull it up here.
Well, Tom, we're gonna wrap it up because we've been on here for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
But we're all set. We're set to be there August 26th, man, and we're gonna see what we can help you find and hopefully help you make a big discovery there.
well, there's a lot of big discoveries there. Now, can you see the guy standing in the doorway holding a little square box? And
Yeah, it's too blurry, Tom.
how about that?
Well, we can look at all this stuff firsthand when we get there.
Yeah, we'll look at it when we get there.
It's hard to do it on a phone. A phone
I mean,
camera
you know,
doesn't work for
we're
everyone.
we're already slated to come up there, so we'll
Yeah,
all
we'll
that
see
we-
it, in real life.
Hey, Tom, I want to thank you for coming on here with us, man, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of all of this. I'll try to make something out of it.
Well, I'm gonna try and get to the bottom of it as quick as possible, because this thing kind of weirded me out a little bit. What we know isn't right. This is telling me the truth right here, I think.
which is
I
what
think
do you what do you think?
I think the moon was a planet that crashed into the earth. And that's what made the big giant crater that made the island of Missouri. And they just rebuilt everything and put the moon in its place. Think of your two planets colliding, a smaller planet collides into another planet. The nucleus of that planet, of the smaller one, is going to get sucked into the nucleus of the larger planet. And the shell is going to bounce off of it because it's no longer magnetically attracted to the other planet.